In the near future, an unknown cosmic radiation affects Earth, triggering a drastic transformation. Some animals and plants undergo rapid evolution, turning into new species that humans come to call phantom beasts. Amid this era of change, Lai Wangxuan, an 18-year-old, works as a low-tier miner in a gold-tier phantom beast mine. He took this job to support his sick sister's treatment, sacrificing his dreams for her well-being. As he walks through the city, an announcement catches his attention. A program has invited one of the world's strongest S-rank phantom beast tamers, Miss Kelly, to share insights about the profession. Lai Wangxuan listens intently. This is a world where phantom beasts define power, and he is still at the bottom. Most phantom beasts require elemental ores to evolve, but some with special attributes can evolve through alternative means. During the interview, the host asks Kelly to elaborate on these special evolution methods. She explains that some phantom beasts can evolve by absorbing unique emotions instead of traditional resources. As the discussion continues, Lai Wangxuan listens in silence, deep in thought. Meanwhile, in daily life, phantom beasts have integrated into human society. Some have even replaced humans in jobs, taking on roles that were once exclusive to people. Those who cannot tame phantom beasts are forced into the lowest tier jobs like mining in phantom beast zones. Miners enter secret realms to extract elemental ores, essential for phantom beast evolution. Although these ores are valuable, the wages for miners remain extremely low, keeping them trapped in a harsh cycle. After work, Lai Wangxuan stops by a stall to buy some meat buns. He thinks about how phantom beasts are not only more efficient workers than humans, but are also preferred for many jobs. As he waits for his order, a familiar stall owner notices him and greets him, surprised that he arrived earlier than usual. Lai Wangxuan receives a free sample from Uncle Wang, who mentions a newly opened phantom beast-themed store. Grateful, Wangxuan thanks him before heading off. As he arrives at work, a few miners mock him, whispering about how he barely collects any ore yet still gets the same pay as them. They complain about his small stature and weak build. Before Wangxuan can respond, Uncle Wang steps in, scolding them for picking on someone younger. He reminds them that Wangxuan is only here because he needs to support his sick sister, and if not for that, he would have become a beast tamer already. Wangxuan, unwilling to argue, admits that his physical condition isn't great, but promises to work harder this time. Uncle Wang, however, dismisses his words, insisting that the real problem lies with the bullies, not him. Before the situation escalates further, Uncle Wang shifts the focus, asking if everyone is prepared to enter the secret realm for mining. A supervisor arrives, dressed sharply, exuding an intimidating aura. Without any patience for delays, he tells the miners that if they have no more complaints, they should enter the realm immediately. With a flick of his fingers, dark energy swirls around him, forming a massive portal. The gateway radiates a menacing glow, its energy pulsing as the miners prepare to step inside. The portal swirls ominously, its energy crackling as the miners step inside one by one. The supervisor watches silently, his piercing gaze following each worker as they enter. Lai Wangxuan adjusts his helmet, mentally preparing himself. He's determined to collect more ore this time, not wanting to give anyone another reason to mock him. Inside the secret realm, the atmosphere is suffocating. The ground is rough, the air thick with heat and dust. The miners gather near the entrance, discussing how to divide tasks for the day, sticking to their usual routines. Some miners suggest pairing Lai Wangxuan with Uncle Wang, sarcastically saying that since Wang looks after him so much, they should work together. Before Wangxuan can protest, Uncle Wang steps in, dismissing their remarks. He tells Wangxuan not to worry and that they'll just work in a different spot. As the mining begins, Wangxuan apologizes, feeling guilty for slowing Uncle Wang down. But Wang brushes it off, telling him to focus on working hard instead. Determined, Wangxuan grips his pickaxe and gets to work, pushing himself to prove that he's not just a burden. After an hour of intense labor, Lai Wangxuan is exhausted, his body aching from the relentless work. But he refuses to stop. He can't afford to disappoint Uncle Wang or prove the others right. Gritting his teeth, he pushes through the fatigue, determined to collect more ore. Suddenly, a terrified scream echoes through the cave, sending a chill down everyone's spine. Uncle Wang and Wangxuan freeze, their instincts on high alert. Looking around, Wangxuan's heart pounds as he asks what's happening. something is very wrong? A panicked miner rushes in, shouting that something has gone wrong. As they follow the source of the commotion, their worst fears are confirmed. A phantom beast has attacked, leaving a miner dead. The sight of blood and the monster's glowing red eyes sends chills down everyone's spine. Standing nearby, the supervisor watches in silence, with a suffocating aura as the beast growls. Wengshuan and Uncle Wang react in shock as the phantom beast goes berserk, brutally attacking a miner. The others panic, demanding the supervisor take action, but he simply watches with a cold expression. The miners urge someone to call for help, their fear growing as the beast's bloodlust intensifies. With a twisted grin, he releases his phantom beast, revealing his true intentions. The sinister energy surrounding him deepens as he declares that none of them will leave alive. The supervisor's phantom beast lunges, its crimson eyes glowing with murderous intent. The miners scatter in terror as the beast tears through them, its claws ripping apart everything in its path. Screams echo through the cavern as workers desperately flee, but the beast is too fast, leaving a trail of destruction. Wengshuan watches in horror, his mind racing. Suddenly, a memory resurfaces, a broadcast from Kelly, an expert tamer, explaining that some dark-type phantom beasts grow stronger by feeding on negative emotions like fear and despair. If this beast is one of them, escaping might not be enough. Wengshuan quickly realizes the trap. The more terrified they are, the stronger the nightmare wolf becomes. He shouts for everyone to stay together, warning that panic will only accelerate its evolution. The miners hesitate. If they act as one, they might have a chance to fight back. The supervisor smirks, acknowledging Wengshuan's intelligence. However, he mocking his efforts. He confirms that his dark-type nightmare wolf feeds on fear and despair, growing stronger as its victims suffer. With a sinister grin, he offers them a choice: die in terror and strengthen his beast, or accept their fate without struggle. The supervisor sneers, mocking the miners for listening to Wengshuan. He challenges them to fight his nightmare wolf, daring them to stop it before it tears them apart. But his twisted amusement doesn't end there. He offers them another choice: turn on each other. If they fight amongst themselves, their fear and desperation will fuel the wolf's evolution even faster. The miners hesitate, their expressions darkening as doubt creeps in. Some glare at each other, fists clenching. Wengshuan quickly realizes this is exactly what the supervisor wants for them to lose control and destroy themselves. He must act fast before panic takes over. As Wengshuan scans the situation, something catches his eye: a sinister tattoo on the supervisor's arm. It belongs to the Phantom Beast criminal organization Dark Shadow Hunters. This man isn't just a rogue tamer, he's part of a dangerous underground syndicate. Meanwhile, the supervisor smirks, giving them 5 seconds to decide: fight each other or die by his nightmare wolf. Wengshuan shouts for the miners to calm down, warning them that the supervisor is manipulating them. They can't let fear control them. For a moment, Wengshuan, overwhelmed by panic, reacts aggressively. He grits his teeth, frustration boiling over. He had told them to stay rational, but now they're playing right into the enemy's hands. Wengshuan turns sharply, his rage directed at the one who started it all. Wengshuan gasps in shock as Uncle Wang suddenly turns against him, grabbing him roughly. Desperation fills Wang's eyes as he pleads for his life, insisting he has a family to care for. He demands that Wengshuan sacrifice himself instead, saying that it's only fair. He's screaming that humans can't win against phantom beasts. If survival means choosing between them, then Wengshuan should die for his sake. Wengshuan clenches his fists. This wasn't just fear anymore, it was madness. Wengshuan, filled with anger, lashes out at Miner. The miner striking him hard with a pickaxe, sending him crashing to the ground. Blood spills as pain surges through his body. Wengshuan lies on the ground, struggling to regain his strength. Wengshuan, bruised and bloodied, glares at his attackers, cursing them in rage. The miner surrounds him. Suddenly, one of them undergoes a monstrous transformation, his body sprouting wolf-like features. Before Wengshuan can react, chaos erupts. One of the men strikes viciously, but instead of Wengshuan, he ends up injuring another miner. The supervisor watches, delighted by the growing tension. The negative emotions from the fight fuel a monstrous phantom beast, making it stronger. The aftermath is brutal: bodies are scattered, and the surviving miners struggle to catch their breath. Uncle Wang, among the injured, can hardly believe they are still alive. As they assess the situation, their attention turns to Wangchuan, lying motionless in a pool of blood. Wangchuan lies on the ground, barely breathing, his body covered in blood. Uncle Wang watches in silence. Without hesitation, he kicks Wangchuan's body, sending him tumbling toward the water's edge. Uncle Wang instructs the others to blame it on a mining accident. No one questions him. The miners finalize their cover story, ensuring they will all say the same thing before leaving the scene. Meanwhile, Wangchuan sinks deeper into the water, his consciousness slipping away. Despair washes over him as he questions if this is the end. A memory flashes his younger sister, smiling in her wheelchair, reminding him to return home early. The thought of leaving her alone fills him with dread. Determined, Wangchuan fights against death, clinging to the last shred of his will. He refuses to die not until he avenges himself and the one who betrayed him. As Wangchuan sinks deeper, an overwhelming force stirs in the darkness. Hatred, betrayal, and rage swirl around him. An entity watches his suffering. It sees potential this broken human can be used. The voice whispers through the abyss, offering power. A contract is made. Dark energy surges into Wangchuan's body, forcing an agonizing transformation. The water ripples still and silent, as if marking the end of Wangchuan. Then a hand bursts through the surface. Gasping for air, Wangchuan drags himself ashore, his body trembling. His eyes, once filled with helplessness, now hold a newfound determination. Catching his breath, Wangchuan scans his surroundings, realizing the attackers have already left. Dragging himself onto the rocky shore, he notices a small creature struggling nearby. Weak but determined, he reaches out. The pink creature coughs, drenched and exhausted. Then a shocking realization hits Wangchuan: his wounds are gone. His body, once battered and broken, is now completely healed. Wangchuan stares at the small strawberry cat, wondering if it was the one that saved him. But from what he knows, this creature shouldn't have healing abilities. Before he can think further, a holographic screen suddenly appears in front of him. Confused, he examines the glowing text, "Phantom Beast Evolution System activated." Another message appears, instructing him to form a contract with the strawberry cat. Becoming a phantom beast tamer was once an impossible dream for him. But now, could this be real? Wangchuan clenches his fists. If he wants revenge, he must become a phantom beast tamer. He locks eyes with the strawberry cat, still unsure why it's here. But the system's mission is clear: he must form a contract. Determined, he reaches out, his hand glowing with a faint light. Since this creature appeared in front of him, he won't waste the opportunity. It's time to claim his first phantom beast. The strawberry cat stirs, its body twitching slightly. As Wangchuan reaches out to form the contract, the creature suddenly springs to life, staring at him in confusion. Before he can react, the strawberry cat launches itself at him, aggressively hissing and attacking. The once harmless-looking creature takes on a combat-ready stance, exuding a strangely intimidating aura. Wangchuan quickly raises his hands, trying to explain, but before he can finish, the strawberry cat attacks. A powerful strike sends him flying, crashing hard against the ground. Dazed, he looks up in shock. The small creature now stands proudly, radiating confidence after its victory. Groaning, Wangchuan glares at the cat, frustrated. He never expected his first phantom beast to be so arrogant. Wangchuan braces himself as the strawberry cat prepares for another attack. Meanwhile, outside, the teleportation gate stirs. Wangchuan clutches the cat, standing within a vortex of swirling red energy. He remains cautious. Escaping alive isn't enough. He must stay hidden. Voices from outside confirm his fears. They've noticed the portal's disturbance. If they discover him now, it could be the end. Wangchuan crouches behind cover, watching as two miners approach the portal. They seem puzzled but dismiss the disturbance, assuming no one could have survived. Hidden, he listens to their conversation. They mention Wang Zhongguo, who had desperately tried to save his comrades but was stopped. The miners also talk about a missing beast tamer, confirming Wangchuan's suspicions. His enemies don't know he's alive yet. As they light cigarettes, Wangchuan remains still. Wangchuan realizes that 5 hours have passed since the collapse of the Abyss Mine, and by now, no one else should have survived. He grits his teeth, knowing that the disaster could have been avoided. If Wang Zhongguo hadn't abandoned the miners to save himself, so many lives wouldn't have been lost. Standing in the middle of a devastated city, smoke and fire fill the air. His eyes darken as he vows to make Wang Zhongguo pay for his actions. As he takes in the destruction, he snaps back to reality. The situation is chaotic. People are panicked, watching something in shock. A bystander rushes up to Wengshuan in a panic, telling him that his house is on fire. Another person reassures him that the fire department has been alerted, but then hesitates before asking about Xiao, his sister. Had she made it out safely? Wengshuan's mind goes blank for a moment before he bolts toward the burning building, shouting his sister's name. Someone tries to stop him, warning that the fire is too intense, but he ignores them. Clutching Strawberry Cat tightly in his arms, he charges into the smoke-filled structure. Wengshuan coughs through the thick smoke, calling out for Xiao as he desperately pounds on the burning door. Flames crackle around him, but he refuses to stop. He listens intently, heart racing. Then, a weak voice comes from inside. Xiao is still alive, but trapped. Hearing her faint coughs, Wengshuan's determination hardens. He reassures her, promising to get her out no matter what. Wengshuan frantically tries to unlock the door, his hands trembling as the heat intensifies around him. Xiao's weak cries from inside push him into a panic. He puts all his strength into it, but the lock won't budge. Frustration surges through him. His heart pounds as he realizes time is running out. With no other choice, he raises his fists and slams them against the door, determined to break through by force. Fueled by desperation, Wengshuan raises his weapon and smashes the door with all his strength. The impact splinters the wood, and he stumbles forward as the door finally gives way. He gasps for air, the heat overwhelming, but his focus remains on one thing: Xiao. As he looks around, his heart pounds. Something is wrong. Wengshuan's eyes widen as he follows the trail of blood. His hands tighten into fists as he rushes forward, kicking open another door. Panic overtakes him. He shouts her name, his voice raw, demanding an answer. Determined, he slams his foot against another obstacle, cursing the locked door standing between him and his sister. From behind the door, Xiao's weak voice tells Wengshuan to leave her behind, but Wengshuan refuses to accept it. Desperation takes over as he pounds against the door, pleading for help. He reminding everyone that his sister is only 13, too young to die like this. Just as all hope seems lost, Strawberry Cat reacts. A countdown begins: 3, 2, 1, and then, Strawberry Cat awakens. Strawberry Cat's body surges with energy. It dashes forward, tail whipping as a powerful aura radiates around it. Letting out a battle cry, it launches itself at the door, gathering all its strength into a single, devastating attack. The impact shakes the entire room, the locked door splintering apart under the force of its strike. With a thunderous impact, the door bursts open, revealing Xiao inside. Flames rage around her, their glow reflecting in her terrified eyes. Wengshuan rushes forward, relief flooding his face at the sight of his sister. But the danger isn't over yet. Strawberry Cat lets out a confident meow. As Wengshuan takes in the burning room, his gaze locks onto Xiao's wheelchair, surrounded by flames, on the hunting ground as people excitedly discuss their recent captures. One brags about catching a fiery fox, while another boasts about getting an ice snow dog. Nearby, Wengshuan sits quietly, observing the excitement. Two young men chat about testing their luck for a wind-type beast today. Wengshuan, however, clenches his fist, his determination unwavering. He must find a powerful beast and become a true beast tamer. His sister's safety depends on it. 12 hours earlier, Wengshuan's younger sister, looking distressed, holds on to Strawberry Cat, who seems equally frustrated. His younger sister, looking worried, suggests calling the police. She clutches Strawberry Cat tightly, still shaken. But Wengshuan refuses, reporting it won't help. His real enemy isn't just some troublemaker, but a beast tamer who won't stop until he's dead. If they know he's still alive, they'll come for him again. Clenching his fist, he reassures her. He won't let her face danger ever again. At the hunting grounds, a group of onlookers mocks Wengshuan. They can't believe he wasted a contract slot on Strawberry Cat, calling him an idiot. With only 2 slots available for beginner tamers, choosing such a weak creature seems absurd. Meanwhile, Wengshuan notices the summoned beasts around him seem unusually weak. He examines a firehorn bull, but its stats are shockingly low. He continues to observe the summoned beasts. The ice snow dog, though at a low level, has decent stats and clear strengths and weaknesses. Another girl happily holds her pet, a cute bunny, which also has solid attributes and a special trait that reduces damage. But when Wengxuan looks at Strawberry Cat, something doesn't add up. He starts to doubt, could the problem be with Strawberry Cat itself? Then, he checks its stats. The results shock him. Unlike the others, Strawberry Cat has no elemental attributes, and its stats seem weak. But its special traits are extraordinary: enhanced movement speed, attack speed, and even increased damage output. Each ability is far beyond what a typical beginner beast should have. Suddenly, a boy dashes out in terror, screaming for help. Behind him, a cloud of dust surges. The spectators are stunned. This area is meant for low-level beasts, so how could a Stage 2 beast appear here? Some onlookers quickly realize if they manage to catch this high-tier beast, it would give them a massive advantage as beginner tamers. Someone questions the boy, asking if he saw what kind of beast it was. Panting, he admits he only caught a glimpse of a blur. It was moving too fast. But based on the speed, he guesses it's a lightning cat, a Stage 2 beast. Upon hearing this, excitement surges through the crowd. A powerful beast like that is an opportunity no one wants to miss. The group charges forward, eager to claim it for themselves. Wengxuan watches the commotion from afar, uninterested in joining the chaotic hunt for the lightning cat. But soon, he makes up his mind. Standing up, he calls out to Strawberry Cat, ready to set off on their own hunt for a beast. Strawberry Cat, however, is more interested in its snack. It stares at Wengxuan with a confused expression before giving a half-hearted meow. Annoyed, Wengxuan watches as his supposed partner continues munching away, completely ignoring him. He grabs Strawberry Cat, lifting it up in frustration. "Stop eating, time to work," he scolds. But Strawberry Cat isn't having it. It yowls in protest, wiggling its stubby legs in defiance. Moments later, it escapes and dashes off into the distance. Wengxuan shouts after it, telling it not to run around. But it's already too late. Strawberry Cat has ventured deep into a dangerous area. Following after, Wengxuan arrives at a rocky canyon. Though this place is meant for low-tier beasts, it's still a dangerous mystical beast zone. Yet, there's Strawberry Cat, bouncing around like it owns the place. As Wengxuan follows Strawberry Cat, a faint glow surrounds him, and thin purple threads float in the air. He hesitates. What is this? Before he can react, the threads tighten, and a terrifying realization dawns on him. A candy spider appears from the shadows, he towering over him. Wengxuan barely has time to dodge before the monster lunges. He stumbles backward, scrambling to escape as the massive spider's web traps him inside. Wengxuan quickly assesses the candy spider's stats. It's a normally gentle creature, but right now, it's in a full rage. Something must have provoked it, but what? As he thinks back, he realizes he might have accidentally triggered something when he arrived. Turning around, he finds Strawberry Cat standing there, looking way too pleased with itself. It doesn't take long for Wengxuan to put the pieces together. Strawberry Cat is the reason the candy spider went berserk. Frustration builds as he processes the ridiculous situation. Meanwhile, Strawberry Cat acts completely innocent. The candy spider lunges toward Wengxuan, its sharp fangs ready to strike. But before he can react, Strawberry Cat suddenly charges forward. Wengxuan panics. How could a low-level creature like Strawberry Cat possibly take on a higher-tiered candy spider? It's completely outmatched. The spider doesn't hesitate. With its powerful attack, it fires a deadly web blast directly at Strawberry Cat. Strawberry Cat's reckless charge ends in disaster. It gets completely wrapped up in the candy spider's silk, dangling helplessly in mid-air. Wengxuan watches in disbelief. At this moment, he finally understands why no beast tamer ever chooses Strawberry Cat. Before the candy spider can finish its prey, a mysterious hand suddenly snatches it away. With no time to think, Wengxuan grabs Strawberry Cat and makes a break for it, barely dodging another attack. Dust and webbing fly as the enraged candy spider chases after them. Wengxuan runs for his life, but the enraged candy spider isn't giving up. It's gaining on him fast. The spider fires a powerful venom blast, aiming straight at him. With no other choice, Wengxuan makes a split-second dodge, leaping through the air just in time. He narrowly avoids the attack, but something catches his eye mid-air. Strawberry Cat, still completely wrapped up in webbing. Just when Wengxuan thinks they've escaped, a sudden attack comes from behind. A powerful energy slash cuts through the air, heading straight for them. Caught off guard, Wengxuan and Strawberry Cat are sent flying, plummeting off a cliff. As they fall, the candy spider watches from above, seemingly content that its enemies are no longer a threat. But before Wengxuan and Strawberry Cat hit the ground, a massive burst of blue energy erupts from below. Just as the candy spider watches its prey fall, a chilling force strikes it from behind. The spider screeches in shock as ice rapidly spreads across its body, freezing it solid within moments. A boy steps forward, silently observing the frozen beast. With an unreadable expression, he stares down at the now helpless spider. As he crashing onto the grassy ground below, he groans, barely conscious, his vision blurry as he slowly regains awareness. Holding his head, he winces in pain, relieved that he's still alive despite the impact. As he tries to collect himself, a sudden noise catches his attention. He turns confused, only to find Strawberry Cat. Wangchuan hurriedly picks up Strawberry Cat, apologizing for earlier. He checks on it, but the creature remains silent. Holding it in his arms, Wangchuan looks around, realizing they have fallen to the bottom of a valley in the western forest. As the sun begins to set, distant bird cries echo through the sky. Suddenly, Strawberry Cat leaps out of Wangchuan's arms, aggressively pouncing on the creature. With a powerful slap, it knocks the animal aside, causing it to cry out in shock. Wangchuan observes the defeated creature, recognizing it as a normally gentle species. However, something feels off. Why have all the beasts he encountered today been so aggressive? Strawberry Cat, who stands confidently, looking proud of its actions. Wangchuan wonders if the creature is just naturally hostile, but seeing its smug attitude, he can't help but feel irritated. Suddenly, he notices something strange about the fallen beast. As he steps closer, its condition worsens. A virtual interface appears, diagnosing it as being in a berserk and abnormal state. Wangchuan's expression hardens if it's not just the creatures acting weird. Then something about this valley itself is unnatural. Wangchuan, realizing the valley is unsafe, decides they need to leave before something happens to Strawberry Cat as well. Determined, he calls out to it, pointing toward a possible exit. However, instead of cooperating, Strawberry Cat simply turns away with an uninterested expression. Wangchuan's patience wears thin. Was this creature always this stubborn? As he tries to reason with it, Strawberry Cat suddenly dashes off in the opposite direction. Frustrated, Wangchuan yells after it, warning of the dangers around them. But the creature pays no attention, running deeper. He suddenly notices something unusual through the trees, a wooden house standing deep within the valley. Surprised, he stops and stares at the structure. A windmill spins gently on its roof, and the warm glow of sunset reflects off its wooden walls. Shocked, he questions how a human-made building could exist in such a remote and dangerous place. Turning to Strawberry Cat, he wonders if it led him here intentionally. The Strawberry Cat simply meows in response. As Wangchuan approaches the house, an eerie windmill creaks above, spinning slowly. He hesitates, sensing something unusual in the air. Red mist drifts around him, unsettling him further. Before he can process it, a sudden distortion warps his surroundings. The house flickers, dark symbols appearing all over its walls. Then, a terrifying noise echoes from within the house, deep, distorted, and unnatural. His heart pounds as he instinctively takes a step back. Strawberry Cat turns to Wangchuan, meowing as if instructing him to enter the house. After a brief pause, he sighs and picks up a sturdy branch from the ground just in case. With cautious steps, he follows the Strawberry Cat inside. The moment the door opens, a heavy, eerie atmosphere fills the air. Wangchuan covers his nose, grimacing. Whatever was in this house, it definitely wasn't normal. Wangchuan cautiously steps further into the dimly lit room, his pulse quickening. The unsettling glow reveals rows of metal cages, their iron bars rusted and stained. His breath catches as he realizes this place isn't just abandoned, it was used for something sinister. A faint whimper echoes from one of the cages. Turning towards the sound, he spots a trembling creature curled up inside. His eyes widen in shock. It's an Arctic hound, but its body is covered in wounds. Wangchuan turns to Strawberry Cat, asking if it can break the cage lock. Without hesitation, the creature leaps forward, slamming its paw against the metal with surprising force. The lock shatters instantly, sending broken pieces flying. Without wasting time, Wangchuan kneels beside the Arctic hound, carefully placing a hand on its weakened body. He asks if it's okay, his voice filled with concern. The creature weakly whimpers in response, barely able to move. Just then, a display appears, listing the Arctic hound's status: severely injured, malnourished, and on the brink of collapse. Wangchuan's expression hardens. Who could have done something so cruel? Wangchuan pulls out a small vial of healing potion, the lowest grade he has. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. Hoping it will help, he carefully opens the bottle. The Arctic hound flinches, its body trembling in fear. Wangchuan quickly reassures it, speaking gently to calm it down. Slowly, he tilts the potion toward its mouth, urging it to drink. A faint glow surrounds the creature as the potion takes effect. Its ragged breathing stabilizes slightly, though it's still weak. Looking around, he realizes this isn't just about one creature. Every beast here has been horribly mistreated. Wangchuan's expression darkens as supervisor flashes through his mind. Before he can dwell further, the Arctic hound stirs. With effort, it pushes itself up, standing shakily on its feet. The creature barks urgently, tugging at his clothes before dashing toward the door. It wants to show him something. There, hidden in the grass, a wooden hatch lies slightly ajar. Wangchuan follows the Arctic hound to the wooden hatch, which appears to lead underground. As he lifts the hatch, a foul stench rises from below. This smell is even worse than inside the house. Without a doubt, this place was being used as a secret laboratory. Gripping his flashlight, Wangchuan descends the stairs cautiously, with Strawberry Cat leading the way. The underground chamber is vast, its walls lined with strange markings and old machinery. He glances around, puzzled. As Strawberry Cat steps forward, a chilling presence emerges from the darkness. Glowing red eyes pierce through the shadows, locking onto. Before Wangchuan can react, a beast lunges, its massive jaws lined with razor-sharp teeth. Acting on instinct, Wangchuan dives forward, grabbing Strawberry Cat and shielding it just in time. Breathing heavily, Wangchuan glances back at the beast. Drool drips from the beast's jagged teeth as it looms over them. A bloodfang hunting hound, a vicious predator known for its relentless attacks. Wangchuan tensed up as the beast, the bloodthirsty hunting dog. The creature's glowing red eyes and menacing aura signaled danger, forcing him to stay on guard while clutching Strawberry Cat tightly. A system-like interface appeared, detailing the beast's attributes. It was a fire type with high strength and agility, capable of causing heavy wounds, bleeding, and poisoning. Though powerful, it had a weakness to ice. Its traits included increased attack power at the cost of taking more damage and the ability to heal itself by absorbing a portion of inflicted damage. As he observed the beast closely, Wangchuan suddenly noticed a metal collar around its neck. Realizing it was restrained, he began to wonder if this creature had been captured and left here rather than roaming freely. His small pet suddenly leaped forward without hesitation, rushing straight toward the much larger creature. Wangchuan panicked, trying to stop it, worried that it was heading toward certain death. However, instead of hostility, the small beast approached the bloodthirsty hunting dog fearlessly, standing right in front of it. The massive creature, instead of attacking, simply observed the smaller one in silence. Wangchuan was stunned. He couldn't understand what was happening. Why wasn't the powerful beast acting aggressively? The small beast barked excitedly, wagging its tail as if trying to communicate. Wangchuan, still in disbelief, questioned what this meant. Wangchuan hesitated as he observed the situation. Strawberry Cat, sitting calmly beside him, seemed unimpressed, letting out a small sound as if to dismiss his concern. The small beast in front of the bloodthirsty hunting dog appeared to be calling him over. Wangchuan cautiously considered if he was going to approach. He needed some assurance that the larger beast wouldn't attack. The small beast barked confidently at the towering creature, as if attempting to communicate. The bloodthirsty hunting dog responded with a low growl, but it didn't seem aggressive. Wangchuan took a cautious step forward, his attention drawn to an old wooden table. Something about it seemed off, and as he got closer, he noticed a thick, worn-out book resting on its surface. Flipping through the pages, he discovered details. The first entry described the capture of 2 Arctic hounds, one of which was a female named Lucky. The researchers seemed excited about their new test subjects, treating them as nothing more than tools for experimentation. As he continued reading, another entry stood out. It documented an event on the 9th day. One of the Arctic hounds had shown aggressive behavior after being forced to consume the flesh of other creatures. The researchers noted their anticipation of its transformation. By the 15th day, one of the Arctic hounds had developed heightened aggression, showing a drastic increase in power. The researchers seemed pleased, noting that it was finally displaying the kind of monstrous rage they had hoped for. By the 20th day, the reports described something even more horrifying. The smaller Arctic hound had undergone unexpected changes. The researchers decided to push the experiment further, making it consume the flesh of the bloodthirsty hunting dog and even forcing it to eat parts of its own kind. They were eager to see if this would trigger an unnatural transformation. He clenched his fists, his expression darkening as he struggled to comprehend the cruelty of those responsible. Turning toward the bloodthirsty hunting dog and the small Arctic hound, he made his decision. No matter what, he was going to free them from this place. With firm resolve, he reassured them that he would get them out of here. He quickly came up with a plan. He instructed Strawberry Cat to break the chains while he worked on dismantling the collar restraining the bloodthirsty hunting dog. Without hesitation, Strawberry Cat grabbed a hammer. With a fierce strike, the chains shattered under the force of Strawberry Cat's attack. He watched in surprise. Was it just his imagination, or was Strawberry Cat actually following orders for once? Shaking off his thoughts, he turned back to the bloodthirsty hunting dog, focusing on unlocking the collar. Right now, freeing the beast was the priority. Wangchuan put all his strength into breaking the restraints, climbing on top of the bloodthirsty hunting dog to pull the collar loose. With one final effort, the lock snapped open, and the heavy metal restraint fell to the ground. As the last chain dropped, the once trapped beast took its first steps in freedom. Wangchuan collapsed to the ground, exhausted but relieved. He couldn't help but remark that years of mining work had built his endurance, otherwise, this would have been impossible. The small Arctic hound barked excitedly, urging him to hurry. Wangchuan chuckled, reassuring it that he just needed a moment to rest before rescuing its mother. Wangchuan prepared to remove the final chain restraining the bloodthirsty hunting dog. Just as he reached for it, the beast suddenly lunged at him with immense force. Caught off guard, he barely had time to react before being pinned down. Shocked, he shouted in confusion, demanding to know what it was doing. Before he could struggle free, distant noises echoed through the chamber. His instincts sharpened. Someone else was approaching. Could it be the people responsible for this cruel experiment? Wangchuan quickly took control of the situation, instructing Strawberry Cat to hide while they assessed the approaching threat. The bloodthirsty hunting dog, understanding the urgency, wrapped its broken chains around itself to maintain the illusion of still being restrained. Just as they finished preparing, a man suddenly stumbled down the stairs. Wangchuan's gaze locked onto the man, who was clearly terrified. The intruder fell to the ground, panicked and begging for his life. He swore that he wouldn't reveal anything, desperately pleading for mercy. Wangchuan recognized the man entering the room. He was the same beast tamer he had encountered at the entrance of the secret forest. The terrified intruder backed away as Wangchuan stepped forward, his presence alone enough to intimidate. Before he could press for answers, another man appeared carrying the small Arctic hound by its scruff. He reassured them that he wasn't interested in harming humans, only in breaking beasts. Wangchuan mind raced. This was the same person rumored to control second-tier phantom beasts in the forest. Could it be that this entire lab belonged to him? If so, things were about to get much more complicated. The man smirked, revealing that the sudden aggression of the Arctic hound wasn't natural, it was his doing. He had spread a special blood rose pollen throughout the secret forest, causing all phantom beasts to enter a berserk state and turn against each other. Wangchuan finally understood the source of the mysterious red mist he had noticed earlier. This man had deliberately turned the beasts against one another. The man pointed his gun at the terrified intruder, telling him it was time to die. The man pleaded desperately, swearing he wouldn't expose anything and even warning that if he disappeared, the church would come investigating. The man screamed in desperation, but the gunshot rang out, cutting him off. Blood splattered as Wangchuan's eyes darkened. Another life lost in this twisted place. The man smirked, as if this was nothing more than routine. With a twisted grin, the man mocked them, saying they were now part of his beast training experiment. Holding the trembling creature in his arms, he knew he couldn't fight recklessly. This was no ordinary opponent. He needed reinforcements. Wangchuan quickly formulated a plan. He told the bloodthirsty hunting dog that he would take its child to safety and return with reinforcements. But in order for this to work, he needed the beast to create a distraction and draw the man's attention. The bloodthirsty hunting dog's eyes burned with fury. It had been held captive, tortured, and used as an experiment for too long. With a menacing growl, it lunged forward, its broken chains rattling as it faced the man head-on. The man, unfazed, taunted the beast, mocking its aggression and acting as though it was just another toy for him to break. But this time, the bloodthirsty hunting dog wasn't going to be controlled. The man sneered, mocking the bloodthirsty hunting dog's sudden burst of energy. He wondered aloud if it was because the beast was enraged after witnessing a human's death. Meanwhile, Wangchuan took advantage of the distraction, carrying the small Arctic hound and moving towards the exit. But just as he turned the corner, an unexpected sight stopped him in his tracks. An entire passageway was now encased in ice. He reached out, touching the frozen wall in disbelief. Why was there an ice barrier blocking the escape route? Hovering in the air was an ice-type second-tier phantom beast, an ice demon moth. Realization struck Wengxuan. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a guardian beast, stationed here to prevent anyone from escaping. The man smirked as he spotted Wengxuan, calling him a little rat trying to escape. Without hesitation, he commanded the ice demon moth to freeze Wengxuan's legs. Reacting instantly, the moth launched a sharp ice spike toward Wengxuan and Strawberry Cat. Before he could escape, ice crept up his legs, locking him in place. Wengxuan gritted his teeth. His movements were now restricted. The man stands frozen as the massive bloodthirsty red dog snarls before him. Shocked, he wonders how this terrifying beast was released. Man notices a broken collar on the ground. He yells at the group in panic, blaming someone for removing the restraint and warning that the unleashed beast could kill them all. But Wengxuan holding his pet, Extreme Ice Dog. He tells the others that it's not certain yet this might be their chance for revenge. Bloodthirsty dog roars and charges forward, eyes glowing with savage rage. Man commands Ice Demonic Flower to intercept the beast, unleashing a chilling attack. The creature resists the assault and charges straight through. Frustrated, Man realizes the attack failed and calls it useless as he quickly retreats. Wengxuan holds the fading Extreme Ice Dog in his arms, realizing its power and the Ice Demonic Flower's consciousness are vanishing. Man shouts for backup, ordering all summoned beasts to attack the bloodthirsty dog. Multiple creatures charge forward, leaping into battle with fierce determination. One of the beasts lands a solid blow, striking the red dog with full force. Bloodthirsty dog launches a brutal attack, striking one of the beasts mid-air with a powerful blow. Two summoned monsters, a serpent and a red beast, prepare to counter, but hesitate under pressure. Man angrily threatens them, demanding they fight or face worse consequences. Pushed by fear, both creatures finally charge toward the bloodthirsty dog with fierce determination. The summoned beasts launch a desperate attack, landing blows on the bloodthirsty dog but failing to slow it down. Man thinking they only need to distract the beast for a while before he makes his next move. Wengxuan tries to stop him from escaping as he runs off, while Strawberry Cat and the weakened Extreme Ice Dog chase after him. With fierce determination, Strawberry Cat dashes forward. Strawberry Cat leaps and slams into Man's chest, knocking him down with a direct hit. Man grits his teeth in pain as Strawberry Cat stands smugly beside him, proud of the attack. Wengxuan confronts the man, warning him not to run after everything he's done. Man awkwardly laughs it off, claiming he never intended to run in the first place, and put his hand onto a button. Wengxuan panics as he sees Man activate something dangerous and urgently shouts to stop him. But Man smirks and presses a switch, yelling that they're the real fools who should be running. A burst of red smoke erupts, surrounding Wengxuan as he realizes its true nature too late. Just then, Extreme Ice Dog opens its glowing eyes. Wengxuan is stunned as he realizes the red smoke will drive all ghost beasts into a frenzy. Bloodthirsty Dog roars wildly, already affected, and violently strikes the other summoned creatures. He grabs Man by the collar, furious that his reckless action could doom everyone, including himself. But Man mocks him with a smirk, claiming he's not foolish enough to die like the rest. He is suddenly thrown back by sharp spikes as Man activates a hidden trap. Man yells with confidence, claiming only they will die here while calling them fools. Bloodthirsty Dog, now fully affected by the red smoke, goes berserk and lashes out violently. Wengxuan realizes too late that the beast has entered a deadly frenzy and becomes alarmed. He grabs Strawberry Cat and Extreme Ice Dog, determined to escape before they also lose control from the red smoke. As he sprints away, a beast lunges from the side, nearly cutting off his path. Wengxuan manages to dodge and leap over icy terrain, landing safely but still on edge. Behind him, the Ice Demonic Flower stirs weakly. Wengxuan is shocked to realize it's still alive. Bloodthirsty Dog roars and charges straight at creatures. Wengxuan, who clutches Strawberry Cat and Extreme Ice Dog tightly in fear. He braces for impact as the beast closes in fast. Extreme Ice Dog suddenly lets out a determined bark. The red beast locks eyes with it. Bloodthirsty Dog suddenly halts its attack, frozen in place as icy energy surrounds it. Hen holds Extreme Ice Dog and wonders if the beast somehow recognized him as its son, despite the madness from the red pollen. As Wengshuan calls out, Strawberry Cat leaps forward with fierce resolve to protect them. With a determined glare, Strawberry Cat charges into battle. Strawberry Cat unleashes its ultimate move, the absolute void god of war, Meow Meow Fist. A massive golden energy beam shoots upward, shaking the entire structure. The impact smashes through rock and metal, sending shockwaves through the area. Outside the building, the force erupts in a violent explosion, blowing apart the rooftop. The building explodes from the impact of Strawberry Cat's ultimate attack, sending flames soaring. Man stares in disbelief, trembling as he realizes the power of the Meow Meow Fist. Wengshuan steps forward through the smoke, declaring it's finally Man's turn to face justice. Terrified, Man begs for forgiveness, admitting his mistakes and promising never to repeat them. Man desperately offers all his ghost beasts, begging Wengshuan to spare his life just this once. But Wengshuan coldly questions him, reminding him how the beast tamers and ghost beasts he killed also begged for mercy. Wengshuan's expression darkens as he demands to know how Man responded to their pleas. Trembling, Man is speechless as Wengshuan steps forward, shrouded in a menacing red aura. Man panics and threatens Wengshuan, saying that killing him would lead to arrest and imprisonment. Wengshuan calmly agrees, acknowledging the risk without fear. With a cold expression, he states that in such dangerous territory, it's only natural for a few beast tamers to die. Man trembles, barely able to speak. Man tries to resist, shouting in anger. Wengshuan coldly gives the command, and Bloodthirsty Dog growls. The beast lunges forward, ending Man's fate as Wengshuan watches in silence. Afterward, Wengshuan turns to Strawberry Cat, calmly saying it's time to leave. Bloodthirsty Dog growls faintly as Wengshuan stands calmly beside it. Confused, Wengshuan notices the beast staring quietly, no longer hostile. The red beast gently nudges Extreme Ice Dog, letting out a weak roar. Wengshuan understands the gesture and softly asks if the beast wants him to take care of its son. Bloodthirsty Dog, now on the brink of death, lets out a weak growl, unable to recover. Wengshuan gently takes Extreme Ice Dog's paw and reassures him with a firm "fine." Holding the pup tightly, Wengshuan vows to raise and protect him until he's strong enough to stand on his own. The beast lets out a faint bark, expressing its final gratitude before collapsing. Bloodthirsty Dog closes his eyes for the last time, passing away in peace. The next day, Wengshuan leaves the area with Extreme Ice Dog and Strawberry Cat by his side. As they approach a swirling portal, Wengshuan wonders how to form a contract with the two ghost beasts. Despite trying every known method, nothing has worked so far, leaving him puzzled. He decides to postpone the contract, noticing Extreme Ice Dog is too tired and needs rest. He checks the evolution requirements and finds the needed items aren't too difficult to obtain. As he reviews Strawberry Cat's evolution materials, he's stunned by the absurdly high requirements. Confused and skeptical, he suspects there must be a visual bug in the system. He decides the contract can wait, noticing Extreme Ice Dog is utterly exhausted as it drifts off to sleep. Nearby, Strawberry Cat stretches awake. Wengshuan overhears two workers discussing recent deaths in the secret territory's mines. One reluctant miner agrees to investigate the mine, steeling himself before entering. As he steps inside, a faint cry for help echoes through the darkness inside the mine. A mutated beast with glowing red eyes lunges at a terrified man, who screams for help. The beast lets out a feral roar before sinking its fangs into the man's shoulder. The attack is brutal, claws tear through flesh as the victim cries out in agony. The beast, now covered in blood, crouches low in the shadows. The supervisor smirks sinisterly, mocking his servant for being such a loyal dog and praising himself for sparing him earlier. Wang bows respectfully, declaring his loyalty to the master with deep reverence. The supervisor boasts about using the servant to kill more than 10 miners, which has helped his nightmare wolf reach the verge of another evolution. As a reward, he hands over a ghost beast orb, one authorized by their organization, praising the servant's performance with a chilling smile. Wang, overwhelmed with excitement, asks if the reward means he can become a beast tamer too. The supervisor smiles slyly and confirms, reassuring him that the organization rewards those who contribute. Grateful, Wang bows deeply, thanking him profusely for the honor and opportunity. Coldly, the supervisor orders him to dispose of the miners' bodies, hinting they'll capture more victims tomorrow. He obediently agrees. The next day at the forest mine, several people gather at the clearing. Wang notices Wengshuan approaching and seems curious. He greets the Wengshuan, trying to start a conversation with polite. Suddenly, Wengshuan's expression turns dark as he recognizes Wang Jiangku, and angrily curses him, revealing past hostility. Wang sized him up and introduced himself as the leader of the mining team, warning that hard work awaited him. Wengshuan slowly turned his head. Suddenly, another person stepped forward, calling out to Wengshuan and drawing attention. A young girl, offended by Wengshuan's indifferent attitude, scolded him for being disrespectful toward leader Wang. But Wengshuan calmly asked who she was. The girl stood confidently with hands on her hips, introducing herself as Chen Lai. She announced that she'd be joining leader Wang in the mine today. Wengshuan narrowed his eyes, thought to himself that the girl must be crazy, and questioned why children were part of the mining crew. Chen Lai snapped back, furious at being mistaken for a child. Wengshuan mentioned that minors weren't even allowed in the mine, which only made her angrier as she yelled that she was an adult. Before the argument could escalate, Wang stepped in and called the team to order. He instructed everyone to prepare, announcing that they would now head into the mine. As the group prepared to enter the mine, Wengshuan wondered if it was her first time underground. Meanwhile, Chen Lai was determined to prove herself and clear her name by uncovering the truth behind past accidents in the mine. Wang stood before the swirling red portal and rallied the team, calling them to move out together. The team followed behind, stepping into the glowing portal one by one. Inside the mine, Wengshuan acknowledged that he had returned to this place once again. He watched Wang closely. He warned himself that if Wang turned out to be the kind of person he feared, there would be consequences. Wang held up a red crystal, explaining to the team that it was the fire cloud mineral they were here to extract. He instructed everyone to form teams of at least 2 members. He reminded them to stay alert and to immediately report any accidents during the operation. With that, he ordered the team to begin working. The miners quickly grouped up, calling out to their teammates. Chen Lai joined the others, and the team prepared to begin the mining task with a mix of excitement and responsibility. Chen Lai stood in silence, her face hidden behind her bangs. She seemed isolated, not approached by anyone as teams began to form around her. Wengshuan took notice, surprised to see her still unpartnered while others had already teamed up. He calmly offered to team up with her if she didn't have anyone else to go with. Chen Lai snapped back, blushing slightly. She insisted she didn't need a partner, claiming she had plenty of strength, and even accused Wengshuan of being the one who looked like a loner. Wengshuan turned away, ready to find someone else to team up with after Chen Lai's harsh response. He calmly said he would ask someone else instead. But just as he began to leave, Chen Lai grabbed his sleeve, stopping him. Trying to hide her real feelings, she claimed she was only helping him because he seemed pathetic. Still, she warned him not to make her look bad. Wengshuan glanced at her with mild surprise. He asked if it was Chen Lai's first time inside the mine. Flustered but trying to sound confident, she replied that she was physically strong and could handle it. Wengshuan clarified that wasn't his concern. His warning was about Wang Jiangguo. He told her to stay away from him. Chen Lai paused, surprised by the sudden warning. She asked if Wengshuan knew something about Wang. Wengshuan didn't respond directly. He turned away, saying it was just advice. Whether she followed it or not was up to her. Chen Lai reached for the glowing red mineral, her hand trembling from fatigue after hours of labor in the mine. She sighed heavily, realizing that mining was far more exhausting than she had imagined. Wengshuan noticed her condition and approached calmly, suggesting she take a break and rest for a while. Before she could respond, a sudden scream echoed through the mine, both startled by the loud noise coming from deeper inside. Chen Lai asked what was happening. Wengshuan sensed trouble and muttered that he knew something would go wrong. Without hesitation, both of them rushed toward the source of the noise. Upon arrival, they froze in shock. Before them stood a massive cluster of glowing red crystals. The other miners gathered around, staring in awe at the enormous mineral formation. The miners stared in awe at the massive crystal formation, wondering how much it could be worth. Their excitement exploded, some shouting they were rich. One of the men, thrilled with the discovery, claimed the largest share for himself, laughing as he imagined his sudden fortune. His teammate joked that he was now a millionaire, estimating the crystal's value at over 5 million. The group started talking about celebrations and rewards, but away from the group, Wang Zhongguo glared possessively at the crystals. He declared that the stones belonged to him alone. Wang's expression darkened. He thought to himself that if the beast tamer hadn't been absent gathering materials, the massive crystal would have belonged to him instead. Driven by ambition, Wang placed his hand on the crystal, contemplating murder. If he killed the man now and kept the mineral, he believed he could surpass even the beast tamer in power. Meanwhile, one of the miners approached Wang, proudly confirming the share distribution. 60% for him, 10% for the association, and the rest split among the team. Wang didn't respond. He remained silent, eyes narrowed with a murder glare. He smiled warmly and agreed with the miner's proposed profit split. But behind that smile, his hand quietly gripped a hidden dagger and stabbed unsuspecting miner's chest, blood splattering as betrayal struck swiftly. The man gasped in agony, his eyes wide in disbelief as his life slipped away from the sudden, brutal betrayal. Wang Zhongguo stood menacingly over the body. The surrounding miners froze in shock. Panic spread fast. One of the workers shouted that Wang had killed someone, while others looked around in fear. With a crazed look, Wang raised his weapon and declared the crystal belonged to him alone. Wangshuan warned Wang that if he was done acting like a human, he shouldn't be surprised by what was coming next. The miners surrounded Wang Zhongguo, shouting his name in alarm. Wang's wondering how the police had managed to infiltrate the team without him noticing. Chen Lei suddenly pointed a gun at Wang, commanding him to drop his weapon. The surrounding miners were shocked to realize there had been police among them all along. Wang narrowed his eyes. He hadn't expected the girl to be armed, and now his plan was spiraling out of control. Chen Lei ordered the others to help the injured and call for an ambulance. The miners quickly responded while she kept Wang Zhongguo at gunpoint. Wang clapped mockingly and admitted he hadn't expected her to be a cop. Chen Lei questioned how he thought he could keep his crimes hidden. Watching from behind, Wangshuan something didn't feel right. Wang Zhongguo was surrendering far too easily. Wang stood calmly with a smirk on his face, his hands raised. Wangshuan's eyes widened in panic as he saw danger approaching. He shouted at Chen Lili, warning her to move out of the way immediately. Before she could react, a powerful purple strike hit her directly, sending a shockwave through her body. Chen Lili winced in pain, her body battered and wounded from the sudden attack. The force knocked her off her feet, sending her tumbling backward through the air. Chen Lili tried to rise. Panic filled her eyes. She couldn't move at all. Hovering above her was a massive dark creature. Its glowing red eyes locked onto her as the system identified it, a venomous stage ghost beast. From above, Wang Zhongguo sneered. He revealed this had been his plan all along, mocking them for underestimating him. As Chen Lili struggled helplessly, Wang raised his gun with a wicked grin, vowing to make her disappear for daring to oppose him. Despite being injured, Chen Lili warned everyone to escape. Wang's eyes flared with fury. He roared for them to stop, raising his weapon as a deadly warning. He threatened the miners, saying if anyone dared to move, he'd kill them on the spot. Fear spread through the group as they froze in place. With a twisted smile, Wang made a sickening offer promising safety if someone among them would kill Chen Lili, the officer standing in his way. Chen Lili tried to rally the group, shouting that he only had 3 bullets left. She couldn't take them all down. He urged someone to escape and call for help. Wang Zhongguo laughed mockingly. He challenged them, asking who would be the first fool to take a bullet. He claimed they'd all choose survival over loyalty just like he once did. Before he could continue his speech, Wangshuan suddenly charged forward and landed a powerful punch to Wang's face. The impact sent Wang flying, his body thrown back by the force of Wangshuan's decisive attack. Wang Zhongguo's body skidded violently across the ground, crashing hard after Wangshuan's powerful strike. Wangshuan lowered his hood and stepped forward. He greeted Wang with a chilling familiarity. Long time no see. He then revealed his identity fully, asking if Wang still remembered his face. Wang's eyes widened in disbelief. He shouted in shock, realizing the man standing before him was Lai Wangshuan, someone he thought was long dead. Wangshuan calmly asked if Wang had already suspected the truth about his survival. Wang admitted he had. He revealed that he planned to burn Wangshuan's sister alive, but when no fire was reported the next day, he realized they must have survived. With a twisted grin, Wang recalled how he stabbed Wangchuan multiple times and let the miners beat him nearly to death, yet the boy still refused to die. Meanwhile, the other miners watched in fear. Their hope had crumbled. If even the police were helpless, what chance did they have? Wang Jiangguo repeated his cruel demand: kill the two standing against him, and the rest would be allowed to live. The miners froze in disbelief. One of them realized with horror that Wang was trying to make them his accomplices. Wang smirked coldly, claiming that once they all got their hands dirty, he'd have no reason to eliminate anyone. Facing this twisted logic and fearing for their lives, one miner gritted his teeth and admitted they had no choice left. Surrounded by miners holding weapons, Wangchuan stood calmly. He reminded them that their actions were their own choice, he wasn't forcing them. The miners stepped forward, clenching their tools, justifying their approach with the belief in survival of the fittest. Suddenly, Wangchuan noticed a shift. Someone had made a move, and it caught him off guard. Wang Jiangguo shouts at the miners, demanding if they all want to die. The miners steps forward, refusing to follow his orders. He says he won't kill a kid just to save himself and tells Wangchuan to get the girl out of there. Wangchuan is momentarily stunned by the miners' bravery. Enraged, Wang Jiangguo warns that if anyone chooses death, they'll only have themselves to blame. Wang furiously pulls the trigger, shouting for everyone to die. A sudden flash of blue light shoots across the scene, shocking the miners. One of the miners is struck directly by the beam and cries out in pain. The others stare wide-eyed, confused and terrified, asking what that strange light was. Wang stares in shock, recognizing the boy and realizing something terrifying. Wangchuan reveals himself with a blue ghost beast on his shoulder. He's a ghost beast tamer. The other miners cheer with relief, believing they're finally safe thanks to the boy's power. But Wang grits his teeth, refusing to accept the beast's strength and mocks it as unworthy. He summons his poisonous sting centipedes, shouting for them to kill everyone in sight. The massive centipede launches a deadly poison attack toward the miners. Wangchuan commands Extreme Ice Dog to block the poison. The beast roars and charges forward to intercept. Extreme Ice Dog unleashes a freezing breath attack, charging forward with a fierce growl. A massive ice blast collides directly with the incoming poison cloud. The freezing wave surges through the battlefield, heading straight for the centipede. The poisonous sting centipede is struck by the ice. The centipede beast is hit hard by the ice attack, but suddenly crashes into the ground. Everyone watches in shock as the creature vanishes underground. Someone yells for Lai Wangchuan to be careful. Wang laughs maniacally, pleased with the unexpected turn. He mocks Wangchuan, saying if he kneels and begs now, he might spare his life. Wangchuan coldly declares that no matter how much Wang Jiangguo begs, he would never spare his life. Enraged, Wang commands the poisonous centipede to kill Wangchuan on the spot. A glowing purple spike erupts from the ground right near Wangchuan's feet, catching him off guard. The monstrous centipede bursts out, charging toward Wangchuan with deadly intent. A powerful beam of pink energy launches with immense force toward the centipede. The attack strikes the poisonous centipede head-on, piercing through its body. Strawberry Cat follows up, slamming into the weakened centipede with a crushing impact. The centipede collapses to the ground, defeated and motionless. Wang is stunned at the sight of the Strawberry Cat beast. He can't believe a Strawberry Cat is real. Wangchuan stands firm with both his ghost beasts Extreme Ice Dog and Strawberry Cat blocking the path. He declares that escape is no longer an option. Wang panics and yells in disbelief, questioning how Wangchuan could possibly have two ghost beasts under his control. Wang picks up a weapon and charges at Wangchuan, shouting with resolve, ready to end it. Just as Wangchuan prepares to strike, Chen Lai jumps onto him, pleading for him to stop. Tears in her eyes, she begs him not to kill anyone, promising to ensure Wang is brought to justice properly. They fall together to the ground. She gasps, pinned beneath him, struggling to breathe. The Strawberry Cat watches the scene unfold with amusement. The miners rejoice, relieved that the danger has finally passed, even though they regret losing the minerals. Meanwhile, Wang is handcuffed, signaling the end of his crimes. Chen Lai tells Wang it's time to face justice and orders him to come to the station. She then turns to Wangchuan, demanding answers about what he's really up to. Chen Lai quickly urges everyone to evacuate the area immediately. Suddenly, the ground shakes violently beneath her. Wang Xuan realizes the earlier battle damaged the mine's structure. It could collapse any second and warns everyone to run. The miners panic and flee as rocks begin falling from above. The entire mine is on the verge of collapse. As the mine collapses, miners flee in panic, dodging falling rocks while chaos erupts around them. Chen Lai struggles to move, her body still weak and unable to run, despite her willpower. She looks up in horror as a massive boulder plummets directly toward her from above. Just in time, Wang Xuan dives in and shields her, narrowly saving her from being crushed. Wang Xuan commands Strawberry Cat and Extreme Ice Dog to escort Chen Lili out, while he stays behind to handle Wang Zhongguo. He urges Chen Lili to leave quickly, promising to take care of things himself. She hesitates, then agrees with concern. As Wang Xuan turns around, a loud crack above signals danger. Rocks begin to fall directly toward him. With quick reflexes, Wang Xuan leaps back just as a massive boulder crashes down where he stood. From the outside, Chen Lili yells to check on Wang Xuan. He responds firmly, urging her to escape while he finds another way out. Inside the collapsing mine, Wang Xuan stands calm while Wang chuckles ominously, his hands still cuffed. Wang mocks Wang Xuan, declaring they'll both die together in the collapse, claiming it's Wang Xuan's fate for opposing him. Wang Xuan steps forward with a cold glare, vowing with finality that he'll never forgive Wang Zhongguo. He clenches his fist and steps forward, stating he didn't spare Wang Zhongguo out of mercy, but because there were witnesses. Now, he's made sure no one will see. Wang Zhongguo looks alarmed, confused by Wang Xuan's words. Wang Xuan raises the gun and smirks coldly. He says it plainly. He stayed behind to kill him. He calls Zhongguo an idiot.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.